Dan, what is the job description of an NBA owner?
Yes, it's funny you asked that question because I was just talking to Joe right before we went on the air here. In every other business in the world almost, the number one complaint of the person who either owns a business or is in charge usually is that they're too much of a micromanager. They're too much involved. They need to let things go. In the NBA or sports, I guess in general, if you're an owner, the second you cross the line into the arena, you're meddling, and you need to stay away. So I guess it depends on who you ask, right? And but I would say I agree with the owners here. I think that number one, setting a culture, which in most businesses today is probably the number one thing. I think years ago people didn't talk too much about it, but culture's everything. And I think determining obviously the financing and backing the business with what the capital it needs, like any other business. And unfortunately or fortunately, depending on if you like it or not, there'll be certain hard decisions that have to be made, and hopefully you can do the work that you make more right ones than wrong ones.
Steve, it's interesting. You don't play, you don't coach, you don't scout, you don't individually sell sponsorships, any of that stuff. So what is your job?
I'll pick up on where Dan left off. There are big decisions that are only the owners to make. Big financial decisions, whether it has to do with roster or whether it has to do with building a new arena or remodeling or whatever you're going to do. Those decisions, they're non-delegable. They're non-delegable. You go to your team, your leaders, but they know it's your money, so they're going to need to ask you. The owner's the only guy you can count on being around in 5 years. If you just look at the longevity of people enrolled, the owner's the person who's going to be around. So who has to make the commitment to the organization about what it wants to be and why you should be there? It's on the owner, because the players can turn over, the coach could turn over, the front office staff can turn over. Now, it's nice if you can do it 15, 20 years in a row. That's the way it's nice to run any business. It's just probably not as realistic, particularly with the players. It's not as realistic.